182% more life? Boy, that'd suck if that mattered. If I was playing some kind of ZDPS, you know, only 100 mil DPS build, that'd be really rough, because then these guys would have, like, you know, 2 billion and it'd take like 20 seconds to kill. Oh, and its unique boss has increased life as well. So it's times 1.61 and then times 2.84. So it's 5 times HP, not 3 times. Boy, that'd really suck if I was ZDPS 100 mil DPS build. Thank God I'm playing a real build, though. Thank God I'm not some peasant with 2 commas. And I actually have my 3rd comma here. Wait, was there one back there still? No. Yeah, there was. Oh, shit, there was. I've heard Fubgun say these are gigantic exiles are tankier than Uber bosses. Remember, Uber bosses have 250 mil EHP before factoring in their damage reduction. These are 5 times the HP on these mods. That's 5 times more than what's tankier than an Uber. And they're still getting Thanos snapped. Did I get a boss altar? I did. Easy. Big loot, baby. Two divs so far there. Why is this tiny little one living? It's Ulysses S. Grant. I'm not going to cloak on you, but I should have, in hindsight. Eldritch and Knolls are like a quarter div. $100 fizz for Quant, easy. Free, if you will. Something there randomly hit hard. I went down. You have to judge by the recoup globe, though, because I think I was truly at like 70, but my recoup was down to like 30 or 40. That's the second closest I've come to dying in 10 maps. Holy lag. Holy lag. Jesus. Oh my god, that's so bad. Yeah, I don't have the PC check beat on this strat. Come back, asshole. Brass Dome. I said asshole, and they're like, no, that's brasshole. To you, pal. Alright, aisle number 3. The first one I've already passed. It's near the start. When do they come out? Damn it. Show yourself, cowards. Why am I, like, lagged out so bad? Is that 3 Xandros? It's another Xandro. That was either 3 or 4 Xandros. That was weird. Alright, last one. Approach him. I'm not doing ultimatum ever under any circumstance. The last ultimatum I did took 33 minutes. I will never do one again. Belfry calming. Just, I think better, if you only care about 2 mods, it's better odds of getting the 2 you want. Who's still alive? I got you all. Stop lying. You're all dead. There we go. Oh, Unnatural Instinct. Alright, I mean, that was 7 on the nose. The last one was 5:30. I've been averaging somewhere between 5.5 and like 7. Alright, I'm gonna do the intro right now. Hi, this is One Mana Left. The reason I'm gonna do the video this way is because this is going to be my guide on Titanic Exile farming. So, the reason I don't do my normal setup of, like, you know, do intro, talk, and then just do it live is because on this strategy, you have a chance to get exiles and you have a chance to not, and it's like a 40% chance. So I wanted to avoid a scenario where I, like, did my intro and then had, like, 7 maps in a row with no exiles. But, yeah, I'm going to go over the Manaforged Arrow Rogue Exile setup. And I'll probably start the video right before that map. I'm on about a 10-map streak of Deathless in like 5.5 to 7 minutes each with 4 Ritual Altars. You can check like this time in the Twitch VOD if you want to see the streak like continuously. But I pretty much just started like getting this setup together. I got the Mirror Quiver today. I've kind of tweaked all my gems and everything around to be like optimized for this now. I'm feeling insanely tanky, and I'm pretty much killing everything instantly. I haven't really been in a sweating situation in a while. The only thing that's ever been any struggle whatsoever was in Toxic Sewer. It's really narrow hallways. Sometimes, like this happened like 15 maps ago and it killed me. I'll get a Mana Siphoner who's just like actually Usain Bolt, and no matter what I do, they will just run so I'm in their circle and can't leech. And that can kill me. But other than that, just from like a numbers standpoint, I've got the build in the spot now where I'm pretty well just annihilating Rogue Exiles. I've started like, you know, running my own maps and whatnot. I've generated my own, like, I've been doing Toxic Sewers because I borrowed E-Miracle's Idols for this, and he likes the Toxic Sewer setup. Because it's better for the ritual aspect because it concentrates a bunch at the boss. And then you do the boss altar first and then backtrack. That's the idea. Personally, after testing it with both, I kind of prefer City Square. So I think going forward, I'm going to probably try to run City Square instead. It's way more chill. You're in an open layout, so I can't get randomly screwed by some terrible like Soul Eater Temp Bubble Mana Siphoner thing because I have like a whole open area. But let me just go through, like, what this is about 5 mirror budget right now. Which, if you're saying, like, oh, any build can run Rogue Exiles for 5 mirror. No. The idols are worth 4 mirrors. There is no 10D Rogue Exile build. The idols are 4 mirrors. These aren't even like top roll idols. Like Fubgun's idols are like more exiles than this. They're like 12-10, you know? Like this I mean they're okay. Miracle's idols are pretty good, but like the idol cost is like my build cost right now. But I craft a mirror Emmy, I craft a mirror chest, I have mirror quiver now, and then the rest of the build is worth approximately 2 mirrors. So I'm right around 5 mirrors, I'd say. But what I've tweaked from the normal setup is instead of running haste on my Eternal Blessing, I'm actually running Flesh and Stone. This is an insanely tanky aura. The reason this is so OP for this strat is because, like, a lot of the... I normally just run haste just because you could run Grace for tankiness, but a lot of the exiles have hits can't be evaded. So Grace isn't even that good. But the actual Flesh and Stone buff does not benefit from aura effect, which in some cases can be a bad thing because that'd be really OP. But that 20% damage reduction, it's actually kind of unconditional. Because you have really juiced map mod effect. So one of the common modifiers, let's see if I have it on any of these. I don't, but like, is 60% reduced effect of non-cursed auras. Well, the thing is, when you have that, like, you're kind of, you know, all your auras are basically disabled. Unless you're like some 300 effect aura stacker, which it would still screw you for that. Like, minus 160, whatever it is, aura effect pretty much disables any aura anyways. So I like Flesh and Stone because it's an aura that with 0 effect still gets the full buff. It still gives that 20% damage reduction aura. The other thing people don't really understand about Flesh and Stone is it's, like I said, it's pretty much unconditional. So, like, you might think, like, oh, a volatile doesn't benefit from Flesh and Stone if I run away from the monster that spawned it. No. The volatile proximity is affected by Flesh and Stone. If I go do a Uber Maven and tank the memory game, if I stand on the edge of the room and tank, like, the Brain Nova, you can see how much damage that deals to me. If I have Flesh and Stone on and I do the same thing and I stand in the center of the room, it will deal 20% less damage. Because even environmental attacks or things that spawn on death still get affected by that AoE ability's proximity to you. So this is basically always up. The second change I've made is I've grabbed the Watcher's Eye for 10% of ES's extra maximum energy shield. It gives a nice buffer on your like mana and life, and I have a good amount of recoup going right now. Like, I have a 44 life recoup with Calander's Touch on this, and I have about 22 mana recoup. All the damage that's getting pumped into my energy shield, which is getting leached with Storm Drinker, is all contributing to my recoup, so it's actually kind of giving me mana, and it's like giving life recoup loop, so it's kind of good. It does get screwed by the reduced defense mod, but I'm in a spot where I'm not so over-invested in it that having the reduced defense, which, by the way, is a tier 17 only mod. It doesn't show on 16s, actually. So that only affects me when I do 17s. It's not so over-invested that actually screws me, but it's nice like 90% of the time. The other thing I'm doing is I'm running Reign of Errors Saturation. This is just the most hits, period. When you're fighting really hard content, you're not moving much, you're just kind of posting up stationary, you keep your ramp at the maximum, you do the maximum recovery, you get the max mana back to ramp more, based off of doing the most hits. So, because I have, like, you know, with everything up, like, 5 APS, like, you know, I actually have, whatever, like, 5 APS, I don't have frenzy charges, it's actually, like, 300 hits per second. Which, on top of all my other 2 Manaforged triggers, I'm doing like 400 or 500 hits per second per monster. Like, it's actually just such insane recovery, but I'm Reign of Air Saturation. Weapon Ellie and Lightning Pen are pretty much guaranteed for any spender setup. And then I'm, the Mana Leech support, this actually matters quite a bit, because, Titanic Exiles use something called Toughness. And then I have, like, Delirium, you know, this is 80% Delirious. Toughness is damage reduction, which does lower the amount that you leech. And then Delirium is also damage reduction. So both of these things are damage reduction, which lower your leech amount. So it's enough that you don't actually, like, full leech cap normally, with just Essence Sap at, like, 0.9%. So just slapping on an extra 4% from this, and it doesn't have a mana multiplier, which is nice, is really nice. It's a night and day difference on my testing on how much recovery I get. Recovery is both damage and like defense. So like this is actually like I don't run this in 17s for like Scarab Farm. I don't run this in like pretty much any other part of the game. But for high toughness Titanic with Delirium, running Mana Leech support in the Spender is a big deal. And then finally I have Conk Factors for more hits. But yeah, that's the 6th link. That's pretty much what's changed. The Exiles, this is just, or the Idols, this is just like the same shit. It's like map mod effect, Exiles, map mod effect, Exiles. The 3x1s are all map mod effect with Quant with Fortune Favors the Brave, then you run Fortune Favors the Brave. But I'll maybe finish it off just like running one more of these. These are all good. But I got, okay, yep. I'll just finish on one more and just kind of maybe, oh, we have a Mirror Cluster finish for Aura Stacker, GG. But yeah, I had a Hinocor's Lock drop on my first map of the day, but I'm making good money. Alright. You're about to find out why I didn't lead the video with this, because it's a 40% chance to proc with these idols. So you're about to see me, okay, perfect, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. But I'll try to go fast and play as stupid as possible, as reckless as possible. Which means, being as this is like the go-to live one, I'm going to screw something up terribly. I'm going to die to something probably. I promise I'm at a 10 streak deathless. You can watch the VOD. That's a lot of bears. The idea with the Toxic Sewer is that this is not like my tech, this is E-Miracle's tech. Well, maybe, I don't even know if he did it first, but basically, you want to go to the boss, you want to spawn a lot of Exiles around the boss, and then do the boss Ritual Altar, and then like just do that one first, and then respawn it all at all the altars. That's the target. I've already had like 12 Exiles. There's a little bit of a skill cap to this. I'm getting better. Admittedly, I've only been doing this for, like, with this setup, like, 15 maps now. And I do feel myself getting better every map, but, like, there's a skill cap to just staying max ramp at all times and, like, not having downtime. But I'm still getting, like, even if you, like, play back my, like, map 10 maps ago, I'm getting way better at it. But I'm still not, like, good at it. I think if I did this for 100 more maps, I would be really good at it. But, I don't know. The goal is like 6 minutes, because I think that's a good time with the 4 ritual altars. But I think that's about as fast as anyone does them. This is more life with unique life, so I tried to do like a tanky one just to kind of show off my damage. But it's 73% more life with 85% more unique life. Oh, there's the boss one. And then 97% of life is extra ES. So this is times 3.5 HP with gain 100% of life as extra energy shield. So this is approximately times 7 HP. I know I've heard Fubgun say that a Titanic Exile is tankier than Uber Boss. So if that's the case, this is 7 Uber Bosses on all these. Okay, this tornado shot. See, when I don't run the tank mods, usually it's just insta-death on everything, but at 7 times HP, it's just barely enough that they can, like, live if I get, like, a bad ramp start. Who are you? That temp bubble screwed me up the very first start of this, because I got my first cloak bubbled, I'm pretty sure. But, okay, this is good for a loot showcase, because we do have a boss altar. That's what you want. You want a bunch of exiles around the boss, and then you want to get a ritual altar at the boss. This is another reason I don't like Toxic Sewer, by the way, for Manaforged, is because, like, if exile's right up against the wall, sometimes the Storm Rain arrows can't hit it, so it's really hard to actually damage them. like I said, I did City Square a few maps ago, and it felt better. So I think I'm gonna do City Square going forward, but I see the benefit to this. Like I see the really juiced ritual benefit. It's not bad. There's an RNG layer though of like if you get the exiles, obviously, but then if you get the boss altar is the second layer. Oh, that's the most damage I've taken in these in a while. Alright, we didn't get anything good there. It's like, goal is... I've been doing these between 5.5 and 7 for the most part. So we'll see if I am on pace with that. But, okay, to be fair, though, those are on most maps. And most maps are, like, 2 times HP because they have, like, 1 tank mod, and every tank mod's, like, double. But this is a triple tank mod, so it's, like, you know, do the math, like, 7 times HP. So, like... This is probably going to be 7 to 8 because it's 7 times HP. We'll see. If this is even 7 minutes on 7 times HP, that's insane. But yeah, the 0 tank mod ones occasionally I get, it will be like 5 flat. 1 tank. Oh yeah, I don't have my sub alert off the video because I was going to just like do this after I got a... Okay, the lag is starting. That's how you know we're trying to farm. It's not... Is it really a good farm strat if you don't lag? Okay. Is there one left? Okay. 2 altars to go. Yeah, this is going to be, like, closer to 8, but it's triple tank. Didn't have good altars this map either, so not good for loot. Usually you get like between 1 and 3 like quant rarity altars. I think I ran by one already, so I think I've already seen that. Well, that's the whole map actually. I've guaranteed seen it. Yeah, it's gonna be like 7:15. 7:15 on 7 times HP is really good. Watch me get DD'd. I hear the DD going off, and there's a lot of boosted HP here. DD can kill me. That's of the deaths I still have. DD is one of them. Because, like, when monsters have, like, you know, 1 billion HP or some shit, like, even though a lot of their toughness is damage reduction, their base HP is still, like, over 100 mil. Or no, their base HP is probably, like, 50 mil on the gigantic ones. But with the 2 map mods, it's, like, that'd be, like, 200 mil. And with that base HP, any DD is a one-shot. So if it's Martyr Ghost... The DD Arch Nemesis mod, or I think there's even an Exile that uses DD. I can die to that. I can get crypt. The boss can corpse explode the corpse of the other boss. This is gonna be like 8 minutes. Damn it. Okay, not a good time, but it's 7 times HP. But like, so there is a short list of things that can kill it still. But like, I think to avoid that, you either need to just like be a gamer and just never get hit by DD. Or you need to have corpse destruction, which I don't have. Dude, I've had very little loot this map too. This has been a low tank map. Give me another Hinocor's Lock to end on. Why is that one immune? Is there actually one left? Okay. Alright. So, slower than most of mine so far, but I wanted to show off a triple tank. Good boss altar layout, but really bad loot overall on that one. But I'll start the video at the first map, talk in the middle, and end on the last map. But I'll post this exact POB in the video description. But yeah, for everyone who's ever asking, like, can Manaforged arrows do rogue exiles? Yes. And as I said earlier in the league, I think with about a 5 mirror budget, you will just completely face roll it. And that seems to be correct. So this is like 4 Mirrors of Idols. I could have a much more expensive character. I am actually missing... You might think this is like Best in Slot, but Best in Slot's like 38k mana. Like, if I... You know how there's a Hinakora's Lock here? Well, this is like plus 6k mana. So see how all the stats like double, but the bottom two didn't, unfortunately? Well, if my ring that gets doubled has its stats doubled, and that's like one of the sources of my stat generation for a stat stacking build, that going 5 positive would just immediately give me like 33k mana. So if I dropped 5 mirrors on a ring, I'd be I don't think at that point there's a mod combo that scares me besides just the flat out like no leech and no cooldown. But alright, that'll wrap it up. I'll see you guys next time.